Hi guys, welcome to Work For It Wednesday, week 9. Today we're going to start talking about the hip and the core and how we can base hip mobility off of core stability. So today we're going to focus on the hyperextended athlete with runners. So a lot of times with runners, what they'll do is they'll get a bit of a hyperextended low back when they're taking their stride and not focus as much on hip extension. So what that does is it creates a tight posterior chain. You might see them get tight low backs, tightness or pain behind their knees, or even IT band syndrome. So what these exercises are going to do, we're going to go over some dead bug variations that are going to help to prevent that. With the dead bug, the biggest focus is trying to make sure that you keep your core or your lumbar spine pressed into the surface of the floor. So for a simple dead bug, all you're going to do, like I said, is push your low back or your core into the surface of the floor. You're going to bend your hips and your knees at 90 degrees, and then you're going to keep your arms raised above your shoulders. So this is just a simple dead bug, and like I said, biggest key points are 90-90, and then pushing your lumbar spine into the floor. So to start off with, you can hold that and work on breathing out of your diaphragm, and that'll be, once you get that done, you can start working on some of these progressions. So the first progression that you can do is get into that same dead bug position. What this is going to do is isolate the movement between your hip and your knee. So you can get into that dead bug position, and then with one leg you can stabilize here into that 90 degree. What we're going to do from here is bring your leg down, and I've got, underneath here I've got a furniture slider, and you can use that. You can push down, bring your knee down, and then extend your hip. And just try to isolate those movements without any arm movement to start. Once you get that done, you can start using your arm to match that hip extension. And then obviously make sure you switch sides. To make this a little bit more specific for runners, a lot of times with runners, you want to try to get a little bit more hip extension to mimic what the stride looks like. So you can just get something to elevate off the ground. Even just 2 or 3 inches is good. And do the exact same thing, kind of get your hips right at the end of your surface. Get back into that 90-degree hold. And then just work on doing the exact same thing. Bring your leg down, and then extend out, and back up. Keep in mind that the biggest thing that you want to work on when doing this is still keeping your lumbar spine or your core pressed into the surface of the floor or of the mat that you're working on. Alright, so there's a couple progressions that you guys can do, especially for runners, to work on avoiding that hyperextension of your low back. Hope you guys learned something. Tune in next week.